resilient specimen.
What is psychosis? Who we are is always changing. We are never the same person we were yesterday. We are not even the same person we were 30 seconds ago. Like, we are literally changing all the time. We're like just constantly evolving, constantly learning. Everything is changing, like nothing stays the same. Things come and they go. There's no thing that is like static, that's like here forever, and it's just like, you feel like you're living in the world, and your belief about the world is so warped because it's always like you're out of touch, and you're out of touch, but you don't know why, and you feel bad about it. And it's just like, you feel like it's people's fault, and it is, but it's also your fault. All these ideas I'm speaking based off of my own experience, having had psychosis, been diagnosed 8 years ago. That's kind of like my introduction to what psychosis is. So it causes you to be out of touch with your reality. I guess the next question you would probably have, I'm thinking, is what is reality, right? So how do we determine what reality is? Well, reality is always what you believe it is. And because reality is always what you believe it is, reality is always in your head. So what's outside of you it's not about what's happening outside of you. It's about the relationship you have to the things happening outside of you. Because one thing you have to understand is that the world is going to be the world. People are going to be people. Birds are going to bird. The sky is going to sky. Poo is going to poo. Wee is going to wee. Food is going to be food. And like the Matrix is okay. I'm going too deep. But you can't fix the world. And I feel like in the mind of a psychotic person, it's like there's certain triggers, certain things that happen externally that cause these outdated beliefs that we're still operating on. And then it puts us kind of like in like a trance state where we're not in touch with who we are now. In the mind of a person who doesn't know that they've been traumatized and they're struggling with psychosis, they're always going to struggle with it because they can't trace the root of the problem. And the thing is, like, I feel like, doctors and these medical experts, they're always treating the problem. They don't want to go to the root. I remember I had so many psychiatrists and psychologists, and very rarely were my issues with my family like actually addressed. They might have hinted at it and asked about it and maybe done a bit of investigation, but it was never like actually like, no, your family was wrong. Like, no, like it was never that. I had to finally like just be like, no, you know what? Maybe they are wrong. Only then was I presented with evidence that they are wrong. Like when I actually started believing that they are wrong, then I was like, oh wait, like they are, like it's not in my head. Like I just, like they are, That's the thing. Like reality is really what you make of it. It's just like, it's really like what you believe in. It's literally about what you believe. Your immediate reality is a direct result of what you are currently believing about yourself and reality and the people around you. So who's responsible? You're responsible. You're responsible. I used to hold people accountable all the time. Like I used to blame people like for every misery that I had in my life. It's because like people don't understand, and it's just like you don't know what I'm going through. And the more I blamed people, the more reality presented that to me and presented people who had a problem with my existence. That doesn't really stop. Like one thing I've noticed, like everything that I've been going through on my psychotic journey is really just a phantom projection of what I went through in my childhood, but I just never acknowledged that I went through it. I always felt like it was my fault. You see, who's responsible? You see, now I felt like it was my fault because I felt responsible for the reality I was having. Why are people judging me? Why is this happening to me? I'm responsible for my own reality. You're also responsible for your own reality. It's just like you have to take back your power. I've been out of it for most of my life. Most of my life, I've had to just numb myself because it's just like I've been like the things I've seen and experienced. It's a lot. It's hey skanteen skanteen. It's a lot. It's really it's strange. Like it's scary actually. It's like wow. This is the wow. Really wow. I never took the time to just validate myself for that, and that's really my responsibility because no one else can do it for me. Like a person can come to me and tell me a million times a day how wrong other people are, but at the end of the day, that's not going to change those people just because they're wrong and you know they're wrong and they're wrong and oh my gosh they're so wrong, why don't they stop, like they're going to keep going. They're not going to stop. Like they are like, that's just who they are. Whatever's happening in reality is happening and it's making me feel a certain way, and I need to own that. I need to take responsibility for that. Otherwise, if I end up living in a reality that I do not like, I will have no one else but myself to blame. So it's just like in terms of feeling guilty, you know, because when you have the understanding that you are responsible for your own reality, there's a lot of guilt that can come up with that. And because it tends to feel like a lot of the time it's just like, yo, like why is my mind, yo, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I do this right? Like, and the thing is, it's just like, it's not even your fault. I need you to understand, it's not your fault. I have to like remind myself of this in every waking moment. Like literally every second I have to remind myself, hey, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, keep going. It's not your fault, let it go. It's not your fault, you don't have to fix it. It's not your fault, it's not your problem. Out of sight, out of mind. I have to keep reminding myself because like people want to, vampires, they want to just, you know, they want the juice, they want the milkshake that brings all the boys to the yard, and it's just like no. I didn't want my milkshake to bring boys to the yard, but it just does bring boys to the yard. But it's just like I don't want boys. Be a therapist for yourself, you know? The things you wish people could be for you, you must be for yourself. That's what I mean when I say be a therapist for yourself, because your therapist will tell you how to take care of yourself. You know, they'll say, eat an apple a day and journal. Or don't worry about them, you know, don't concentrate on them. Like they would like be like, no, it's okay. You don't, like, you're special. Oh my God. Okay. No. Wait. You're special is a slippery slopes. Like, no one is special. No one is safe. Nobody is safe here. Nobody is safe here. No one is special. No one gets special treatment. You are attracting the things that you are when yourself inside of you. Be a therapist to yourself. Be your biggest supporter. Believe in yourself. Just be your biggest fan. Because at the end of the day, you really are. You must. I must. I have to. And it's just like I feel like everyone should. I feel like the world would be a much better place if we were all our biggest fans. Because if you're your biggest fan, then you can be a fan for someone else, but not in a way that drains you and robs you of your own existence and purpose and life. Or something like that, I don't know. It's not your job to satisfy other people's perceptions, desires, or beliefs about you. Because other people are always going to have things to say. They're always going to have an idea of you. You know, you can hear it in the air. You can feel it in the vibrations. Like energy. We're all energy. Everything is energy. And you can just feel people's intentions. I feel like Beerus the Destroyer. You know how Beerus can feel murderous intent? And he doesn't, like, you don't even have to say anything about murder or show that you're going to murder someone. It's like that. It's like fucking Kendrick Lamar. I can feel your energy from 2 planets away, bitch. Like, nut up or shut up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, fuck, bro. Like, fuck. Don't kill my... Fuck. Fuck. Hibbidi-doo. Like, it's not your job. It's not your job. I also, like, I had to learn that. It was a tough lesson. It was a tough lesson because I would love nothing more than to control how other people perceive me. Except now I don't want that power anymore. It's just like, let them perceive me however they want. Because honestly, the reality is, while I am standing up for what I believe in, the people who are so focused on me and spreading gossip and rumors and hating on me, these people are just making me more real. Because I'm just being myself. I'm moving on with my life. It's just like, you can stay there. You can look at me. You can talk about me, speak, and it's okay. Like, I acknowledge that now. It's almost like you have to hold the boat, you know, with all your essence in your being, and you just have to carry people. And it's just like, no, it's not my job. My job is to carry myself. We all have a devil on our backs. All of us. No one is empty. There's a flood on the horizon, and every time you see the water rise, you just jump. I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like people are weird, and I don't like people generally. I mean, I do, but I also don't. It's just like, I really don't. Because people are just weird. I've loved being alone from as early as I can remember. I didn't like having people in my space. And I understand why now. It's because I've just been through a lot of shit, man. And I've got like trust issues, you know? And it's not a bad thing. I think it's good because it's just like, not everyone is the same. Not everyone has the same story. We all want different things. And it's just like, a lot of people in life you can't trust because they're not true to who they are. And they come to you with a smile on their face and they have a knife behind their backs. They're the Joker. This is what the Joker is. The Joker is not just a villain. He's like, the reason why the Joker is so celebrated in society, I believe, is because it's not just about the character. It's what the character actually represents. And Batman is not about Batman, but it's about what Batman represents. It's like an idea. It's like I don't know the words, microcosm, macro, whatever, but it's like a representation of society. A lot of movie stories, songs, poems, and shits and art is really just a reflection of what society is. It's an artist experiencing society as a human being and just saying, hey, this is what I see, this is how I feel. That's what it is, you know? So yeah. Anyways, bottom line, like, fuck everyone else. Seriously. Like, they'll sort it out within themselves because, like, they're not going to change. And there is not enough you can be or do for someone that will satisfy them. By the way, it's literally impossible for you to satisfy someone else. It is also literally impossible for someone else to satisfy you. The only person that can satisfy you is you, bitch. How I heal from my psychosis these days, I acknowledge the shit that I went through. I acknowledge that I've been through a lot. I acknowledge that the things that I went through affected me. And I acknowledge how they affected me, but I also don't allow the way they affected me to be who I am. Because, you know, I am beyond the things that happened to me. The things that happened to me are not a reflection of me. It's just information that I'm using to understand myself better. We were born with a very selfish need to have our own preferences, our own likes, our own perceptions, our own identities that are not enforced onto us, but are rather inspired within us naturally as a result of the natural contrast that we are presented with by the time we come into this physical realm. The things that I went through, I make sure that I don't minimize them. I make sure that I acknowledge them for what they actually were, which was abuse, emotional, mental, sexual abuse. And I acknowledge it. Like I like, you know, it's just like, yeah, it did affect me, but it's not me. It's just a fragment. That's just the piece of the puzzle. you know? But the puzzle is like it's an infinite puzzle. It's just like there's always going to be pieces. When you thought all the pieces were finished, going to wake up the next day, oh my gosh, another piece. Oh my goodness. It's just like it's infinite. It's infinite. It never ends. Never ends. It never ends. It never ends. It never ends. I really had to be brutally honest about who my family is. Especially like my mom. I think my mom was probably the most painful one. Because I just kept on expecting her to just get it, and you know, she didn't budge, and she just held on to her trauma. And the reason why I experienced so much trauma from my family was because everyone in my family also experienced trauma in their own ways from other people, you know. So the trauma I experienced from my brothers, it happened because they experienced it from my parents, and my parents inflicted trauma onto us because their parents and their parents and their parents, and basically what I'm saying is generational trauma. That's all it is. And I mean, it's big, but it's also not that big. You know, it's not that big of a deal. It's just like, you know, they'll get, like, it's, life goes on. Like, when you know who you are, you know why you are. Life goes on. People, interaction, reaction. Man, life goes on. And nothing is the same, but and the thing is, it's not like the outside really changes, you know, especially with psychosis. Like, the outside doesn't change, it stays the same, but your perception of it changes, which is really what psychosis is. It's just a perception problem. Yeah, it's just like thoughts, basically, you know, because reality is reality. It's a journey. I think I'm still figuring that out. It feels uncomfortable to say I think I've figured it out, because, like, I don't think there is anything to figure out. I feel like you can't really experience joy if you haven't fully experienced all your other emotions as well. Which is why, you know, when I acknowledged my trauma and stuff like that, and even though it was painful and I was alone and there was no one to validate me, and people even, like, you know, said I was lying and stuff like that, and it's painful, you know, like, it's just like you can't believe the lack of support you're getting. Like, the sooner I accepted it, the sooner I started feeling better, and I stopped feeling bad, you know, for even feeling this way, because it's just like, people want you to be broken. They want you to be traumatized, because when you're traumatized and broken, then you cannot realize how much power you actually have, because they need you to fulfill a desire within them somehow. I don't know. I think it's probably a part of whatever it is I'm thinking about right now. I don't even know how I got here. There's no telling when it ends. It just goes on and on and on. It's a cycle. And it's just like, you've just got to see the cycles and recognize the patterns. Because, like, life really is a cycle. Like, when you see the circle and you see, oh, it's this part of the circle, okay, then you change how it clear, change how it looks. Yeah, so I mean, if you like the videos that I make, guys, feel free to like and subscribe. Wouldn't it be nice if people liked and subscribed? It would be. It would be. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.